An experiment by a scientist created a rain that caused people to die in agony as soon as they got wet. And in just 2 days, the virus and the rain wiped out half the world. Now, the survivors began hunting each other to live. In this devastated world, a girl named Simone had been living hidden in a bunker with her brother for 8 years. But now, their food had run out. When they both come out of the bunker, some hunters start chasing them, and Simone gets separated from her brother Rasmus. Simone somehow manages to escape from them. But at one place, Simone sees a small child who was in very bad condition. Dark clouds had covered the sky, and heavy rain was about to come soon. Getting drenched in that rain would mean their death in just a few minutes. So, Simone immediately takes him to a nearby building. Upon reaching there, she sees that the child, troubled by hunger, is eating some painkillers. Seeing this, Simone's heart fills with emotion. She quickly takes out some food from her bag and gives it to the child. Just then, the child's father arrives there. When he sees the child eating food from Simone's hand, his eyes fill with tears. He repeatedly starts saying thank you to Simone. The man explains that if his son's health hadn't been so bad, he would have left this town long ago. He warns Simone that this town is full of dangerous people and she should leave as soon as possible. In fact, there was a doctor near the town. The doctor who treated people, and that man was also getting his son treated there. Hearing all this, Simone gives them a little more food so they can manage for a few more days and leave as soon as the child gets better. The man sincerely thanks Simon and after the rain stops, goes out with his child. But as soon as they step outside, some people surround them. Seeing the food in the child's hand, they attack like madmen and within moments kill both the father and the son. Seeing this, Simon gets scared and somehow runs away to a bakery where her other companions were present. But then a man comes in who suddenly puts a knife to Rasmus's neck and demands all the food from Simone and everyone else. Everyone panics. Just then, Martin and Patrick arrive and hold the man at gunpoint. Rasmus's life is saved. Seeing Martin and Patrick, Beatrice and everyone else become very happy. They had hoped that these two would come looking for them. In fact, since Beatrice left, Martin had been restless because he had started to like her. Anyway, the man there snaps Rasmus and runs away to save his own life. Everyone gets scared and starts tending to Rasmus. Then Simone says that there is a bunker nearby where he can be treated. So, they put Rasmus in a shopping cart and head towards the bunker. But when they arrive, they are shocked because the bunker gate was already broken and all the food and necessary supplies were missing. Now, they had no food and Rasmus's condition was also bad. Martin quickly puts duct tape on his wound to stop the bleeding. When Rasmus falls asleep, Martin talks to Simone and shows her a location on the map. There was a big wall there that was not part of the town border before, but was perhaps built later. Seeing it, it is clear that the area inside the wall has been turned into a quarantine zone. Martin says that if they want to stay alive, they have to go outside this quarantine zone. Hearing this, she also feels that Martin is right, so she agrees to go along with his plan. However, before that, she had to heal her brother Rasmus and find her father. So she decides to first go to the nearby doctor's house, which was after crossing an old bridge. Now going on that bridge was a big risk because hunters were present all around, but Simone and everyone else made a plan. According to the plan, Simone deliberately runs towards the bridge to draw the hunters' attention to her. In a short while, some drones track her location and the hunters start chasing her. Simone leads them running into an old factory where Martin and the others were already hiding. As soon as the hunters enter the factory, Martin and his team hold them at gunpoint. Now Martin asks them about their other companions and their base, but they refuse to reveal anything. Martin's anger increases and he decides to kill them. Seeing this, Simone doesn't like it at all because she wanted Martin not to take anyone's life so that there would be some difference between them and those ruthless people. But Martin does not listen to her. Just then, Jean notices a tattoo on the hand of one of the hunters. Seeing that tattoo, his expression changes. Without saying anything, he tells Martin to finish them off and leaves from there. The rest of the people do not understand why Jean said that. After a while, Martin sends everyone else outside too, but as soon as they step out, the sound of 3 gunshots echoes. Everyone understands that Martin has killed those hunters. A little later, Martin comes out and tells everyone to get into the hunter's jeep, and they set off. Jean somehow survived that deadly rain, He had been wandering for many days without food and water. Due to weakness, he fainted and fell while walking. Just then, a girl comes there, sees him, and immediately takes him inside. The girl's entire family lived in that house. They feed Jean, take care of him, and then offer him to stay with them in their home. Jean, who had been alone for a long time, happily agrees. A few days later, he feels for the first time that life can be right again. But one day, suddenly, the sound of Hunter's vehicle starts coming from outside. The girl's father manages everyone and quickly hides John and his daughter in a nearby shed. Then, gunshots start coming from outside. The hunters kill the man's wife, and after a while, the man is also killed by them. John, hiding, sees everything, and then his eyes fall on the same tattoo. At that moment, the girl starts screaming loudly upon hearing her father's scream. But John quickly covers her mouth so they don't get caught. However, when the hunters leave and John removes his hand, he realizes that the girl is no longer breathing. This is why John tells him to kill the man from the factory, because he realizes that it was the same person who killed the family that saved his life. Now, in the past, John goes into shock. He comes outside. He respectfully buries the dead bodies of both the father and daughter. But he is completely broken inside and thinks about ending his own life. But at that moment, Leah and Bertie arrive there and include John in their group. In the present time, thinking about all this, John was very troubled. After a while, everyone reaches the place where the doctor's house was. But because there were many houses, it was difficult to find the doctor. Then, with the help of a drone, they somehow locate the house. As soon as they reach near the house, the doctor comes out with a gun and holds everyone at gunpoint. But Simone somehow calms her down and shows Rasmus's condition. Seeing Rasmus, the doctor agrees to help. She takes everyone inside and stitches Rasmus's wound, which makes his condition a little better. Then, during the conversation, Simone learns that the doctor also had a husband and 2 daughters before, but she lost them all during the first rain. Since then, she has been living alone and always helps anyone who comes to her for help. Simone also tells her about her father, Frederick. Hearing this, the doctor is surprised for a moment. After that, she takes them to an old bunker near her house, which was exactly like the bunker they used to live in before. This clearly indicated that the doctor had also worked in Frederick's company before. Inside, the doctor starts to give Rasmus an injection to treat him. At the same time, Simone asks her about Frederick, but the doctor says she doesn't know anything about such a man. Hearing this, Simone becomes confused because Frederick was one of the company's oldest scientists. Everyone knew them. She tries to find out the truth from the doctor, to which the doctor reveals that she hates Frederick. In fact, it was because of one of Frederick's experiments that the rain virus spread, which killed the doctor's entire family. And this was the reason she was now going to bring Simone and Rasmus to this bunker to kill them. Hearing this, Simone is shocked. Meanwhile, outside, Martin and the others are talking when they suddenly hear the sounds of some vehicles. They were the hunters' vehicles, the same hunters Simone had talked about leaving alive. Now seeing this, John gets angry and picks up a gun and directly shoots the guy with the tattoo. Seeing this, the others hold him at gunpoint. Martin is about to return fire, but Patrick stops him because they had very few people and the hunters were more in number. Therefore, they decide to retreat for now and plan to rescue Jean later. Patrick and Martin immediately set out to find Simone and Rasmus. Soon, they reach the bunker where Simone is somehow trying to stop the doctor. But when the doctor doesn't stop, Patrick is forced to shoot her, and the doctor dies there. After that, everyone sets out to find a safe place again. On the way, Patrick gets angry at Martin for leaving those hunters alive, because if he hadn't done that, Jean would be with them today. Martin also regrets this, but he says nothing to Patrick. At night, when everyone stops to rest, Simone comes to him and says that it was her fault too. If she hadn't told Martin to let those people go, maybe Jean would still be alive. Martin forgives her, and they both decide that in the journey ahead, everyone will live in their own way, because in this broken world, trust and humanity were almost gone. Now, the next morning, as they were trying to find Jean while moving through the forest path, suddenly dark clouds gather in the sky. It could start raining at any moment. Therefore, everyone starts to panic and look for a shelter, but there was no place available nearby, which clearly meant that if he goes and says that they have not come to harm anyone but to help, and due to no other way, he goes inside Alex's house with his team. Upon entering, they see that there were more people like Alex living there who lacked neither food nor water. Alex gives them a room so they can rest. Martin and everyone else, a bit scared, go inside and spend the night there. The next morning, an old woman named Karen comes to them, who managed all the other things there. Smiling, she leads everyone to the bathroom so they can bathe. On the way, Simone and Patrick see that Karen and the others are growing vegetables in their backyard. Karen gives them a tomato to eat, but everyone was afraid that there might be something wrong with it. Karen eats the tomato herself to show it's safe, and when nothing happens to her, everyone else relaxes a bit. Then she shows them the water for bathing, but since the water could be toxic, no one dares to get in. Karen then gets into the water herself, and when nothing happens to her, gradually everyone else starts enjoying the bath. Except for Martin. Martin still did not trust these people. He couldn't understand where they were getting such fresh food, water, and meat during such bad times. So he sets out alone to explore the entire mansion. Even after looking around for quite a while, he doesn't find anything significant. He returns home, where he sees Beatrice, Leah, and Patrick eating at the dining table with everyone else. Seeing this, his suspicion grows even more. Martin goes straight to Alex and asks where they are getting such fresh meat from in such bad times when there are no animals left around. Alex just smiles and replies that he is just helping them and they should trust him now. But Martin finds his words artificial. He slowly starts heading towards the basement where he hears the sounds of meat being cut. He reaches the door and is about to go inside when a worker comes in front of him. Martin quickly makes an excuse that he was looking for the washroom and goes back upstairs. Going upstairs, he immediately tells Simone everything. According to Martin, this place was not safe at all and they should leave as soon as possible. But Simone still wanted to get Rasmus treated because his condition was worsening again. So she asks Martin to wait for a while and takes Rasmus to Dr. Hedy, who works in the mansion. During that time, when Hedy learns about Simone and Rasmus, he immediately suggests giving Rasmus an antibody injection. Without delay, he also takes out a syringe. But Simone becomes alert as soon as she sees the syringe and immediately stops Hedy because it was exactly like the one the female doctor tried to use on Rasmus. Hedy is startled for a moment, but then agrees with Simone and only gives Rasmus normal medication. After the treatment is over, Simone secretly steals the same syringe, and when she compares it with the female doctor's syringe, they turn out to be exactly the same. Both had the logo of the same company where Simone's father, Frederick, used to work. Seeing this, a flood of questions arises in Simone's mind. She couldn't understand what the connection could be between Hedy and her father's company, so she goes directly to him and asks about Frederick. Simone also gets angry because she started to realize that the same company was behind the spread of this pandemic, and even today, people are using the products of that company. Hedy is about to answer when Alex comes and interrupts. He tries to calm Simone down and sends her outside. A little later, when Simone returns to her companions, she tells Martin everything. Hearing this, Martin's suspicion deepens and he starts planning to leave as soon as possible. But Simone did not want to leave under any circumstances. He wanted to know what exactly was the relationship between these people and her father's company. Martin gets a little worried by Simone's decision, but everyone else seemed to find the atmosphere there quite pleasant. Leah had slowly started mingling with the people there. She really enjoyed spending time with Karen because Karen treated her like her own daughter. Karen's real daughter had died during the first rain, and hearing this, Leah's heart fills with emotion. Moved by Karen's words, Leah starts crying and gradually shares her pain with her. She explains that the day before the first rain, she decided to go to a party with her friends despite her mother's disapproval. But at that party, some people spiked her drink with drugs and then misbehaved with her. After that, they uploaded her video online. Her mother saw that video. In anger and sadness, she called Leah and said a lot to her. Leah was thinking that if only the people who did all this to her It had been caught in the rain. Since that day, Leah had become completely alone. But now, with Karen's affection, she was feeling a sense of belonging again for the first time. Karen then told her about a ceremony at her house, a small ritual. in which the participant was considered a part of the house. Hearing this, Leah decided to stay there permanently and decided to participate in the ceremony with her other companions. But Martin did not take part in that ceremony. He still wanted to know the real source of the meat in that house. After night, when everyone was busy with the ceremony, Martin quietly went down to the room where meat was cut every day. Initially, everything seemed normal: a table, some tools, and a freezer. But when he opened the door of a large freezer nearby, the sight before him made his hair stand on end. Inside, a dead human body was hanging as if an animal had been butchered. With anger and fear, he goes upstairs where the ceremony is happening. Now, it was about finding out the secret of this mansion and whether they would be able to find John. Would the people of the mansion let them live? Be sure to like and subscribe to find out and get at least 100 comments for the next part. See you in the next video.